Okay, so there are two questions that I want to ask you, and I'm probably going to ask you during the time that we read. So I'm going to read two chapters, okay? 11 and 12. And then you are going to, for your assignment, what you're going to turn in is a picture of your response. So you're going to open up into reader's response, okay? Into the next clean page, you're going to write the answers that I say, okay? So I will tell you, I will let you know what the questions are once we get to them. So just those two questions, you're just going to take a picture of your page of the two questions. You answering the two questions, okay? So here we are going to start reading at 11, chapter 11. At home, after the very strange baton twirling class, Raymie sat in her room with the door closed and worked on the Little Miss Central Florida Tire application. It was a 2-page mimeographed form, and it was obvious that Mr. Pitt, the owner of Central Florida Tire, had typed the form himself. He was not a very good typist. The application was full of errors, which for some reason made the whole enterprise, the contest, and the hope that Raymie would win it, and the further hope that winning it would bring her father home, seem dubious. So by this right here, we see that Raymie is doubting herself, right? Or doubting that she will be able to win that contest. Dubious means doubt. Doubting herself and losing doubt. Or losing hope, sorry. The first question was in all capital letters. It said, "Do you want to become Little Miss Central Florida Tire 1975? There was no space for an answer to this question. Still, it was a question, and Raymie felt like it would be best to answer it. Since the application said, make sure you use all questions. Raymie squeezed in the word yes right after the question mark. She used all capital letters. She thought about adding an exclamation mark, but decided against it. And then she filled in her name, Raymie Clark, and her address, 1213. Do you have Landon? Okay, sorry for that interruption. And her address, 1213 Borton Street, Lister, Florida, and then her age, 10. So remember, the title of this book is called Raymie Nightingale, right? And she just said that her full name is Raymie Clark. She wondered if Louisiana and Beverly were sitting in their rooms filling out their applications. Did you have to fill out an application for a contest if you intended to sabotage the contest? Raymie closed her eyes and saw Louisiana writing the words, "The Flying Elefantes," in the air with her baton. How could Raymie compete against somebody from a show business background? Raymie opened her eyes and looked out the window. Old Miss Borowski was sitting on a lawn chair in the middle of the road. Her shoes were untied. Her face was lifted up to the sun. Raymie's mother said that Miss Borowski was as crazy as a loon. Raymie didn't know if this was true or not, but it seemed to her that Miss Borowski knew things, important things. Some of the things she knew she told, and some of the things she knew she refused to tell. Say nothing but phew. When Raymie asked for more information, old Miss Borowski probably knew who the Flying Elefantes were. Raymie looked back down at the application. It said, "Please list all of your good deeds." Look how it's spelled. D, three capital letters, one lowercase and one uppercase. Use a separate sheet of paper if necessary. Good deeds? What good deeds? Raymie's stomach clenched. She got up from the desk and left her room and went out the front door and walked into the middle of the street. She stood in front of Miss Borowski's lawn chair. "What?" said Miss Borowski without opening her eyes. I'm filling out an application, said Raymie. Yeah, and so? I'm supposed to do good deeds, said Raymie. One time, said Miss Borowski. She smacked her lips. Her eyes were still closed. One time, a something happened. Obviously, Miss Borowski intended to tell a story. Raymie sat down in the middle of the road at Miss Borowski's feet. The pavement was warm. She looked at Miss Borowski's untied shoes. Miss Borowski never tied her shoes. She was too old to reach her feet. One time, a something happened, said Miss Borowski again. I was in a boat at sea, and I saw a baby get snatched from his mother's arms by a bird, a gigantic seabird. Okay, sorry again for that interruption. By a bird, a gigantic seabird. Is this a story about a good deed? Asked Raymie. So we can infer right here, right? I infer that because it says the pavement was warm, that I infer that it's probably a hot day, because I remember when I was little and it was a really hot summer day, that sometimes the pavement would be really hot or warm if I sat on it, or maybe stepped on it with no shoes. So I'm inferring that using my own previous or my personal experiences. It was terrible how the mother screamed, but the mother got the baby back, right? From a gigantic seabird? Never, said Miss Borowski. Those gigantic seabirds, they keep what they take. Also, they steal buttons and hairpins. Miss Borowski lowered her head and opened her eyes and looked at Raymie. She blinked. Miss Borowski had very sad, extremely watery eyes. The wings of the seabird were huge. They looked like they belonged to an angel. So was the seabird actually an angel? Was it doing a good deed and saving the baby? Phew, said Miss Borowski. She waved her hand through the air. Who knows? I'm only telling you what happened. What I saw. Most of it, make of it what you will. Tomorrow, you come over and cut my toenails, and I will give you some of that divinity candy, okay? Okay, said Raymie. Did cutting Miss Borowski's toenails count as a good deed? Probably not. Miss Borowski always gave Raymie candy in exchange for the toenail cutting, and if you got paid for something, it couldn't be a good deed. Miss Borowski closed her eyes. She tilted her head back. After a while, she started to snore. Raymie got up and went into the house and into the kitchen. She picked up the phone and dialed her father's office. Clark Family Insurance, said Miss Sylvester in a cartoon bird voice. How may we protect you? Raymie said nothing. Miss Sylvester cleared her throat. Clark Family Insurance, she said again. How may we protect you? It was nice to hear Miss Sylvester ask, how may we protect you, a second time. Actually, Raymie thought that she would like to hear Miss Sylvester ask the question several hundred times a day. It was such a friendly question. It was a question that promised good things. Miss Sylvester, she said. Yes, dear, said Miss Sylvester. Raymie closed her eyes and imagined the gigantic jar of candy corn sitting on Miss Sylvester's desk. Sometimes in the late afternoon, the sun shone directly on the jar and lit it up so that it looked like a lamp. Raymie wondered if that was happening now. Behind Miss Sylvester's desk was the door to Raymie's father's office. That door would be closed, and the office would be empty. No one would be sitting at her father's desk because her father was gone. Raymie tried to conjure up his face. She tried to imagine him sitting in the office at his desk. She couldn't do it. She felt a wave of panic. Her father had only been gone for 2 days, and she couldn't remember his face. She had to bring him back. She remembered why she was calling. Miss Sylvester, she said, you have to perform good deeds for the contest. Oh, no, honey, said Miss Sylvester. There is no problem at all. You just go down to the street to the Golden Glen and offer to read one of the residents. The elderly love to be read to. Okay, I'm going to do a part 2 for this because my time is about to run out, so watch the next video, okay?